Hello, everyone, for joining us tonight. We will be talking about who we are, Christian gamers,
Hmm.
and we are here to speak to other Christians and non-Christians alike in this Twitch universe or Twitchverse.
Live
So,
long and prosper.
yes, and we just want to reach out to y'all, give y'all positive messages, um, and let you know from a Christian standpoint the way you can address things or be addressed, or the way to conduct yourself as a Christian gamer. I myself have been a Christian gamer for many, many, many years. I may not have shown that all the time, um, with Mario Kart, or my worst one ever would have to be uh, oh uh, bubble what was it called, Marble Madness. I don't know if anybody's ever played Marble Madness, but that is a fitting term for that game because it made me go insanely mad. And not like psychopathy, I'm talking about emotionally extremely angry to play that game. So I don't suggest anybody should ever play that game, but that's neither here nor there.
I also come from a world where I have played video games with my youth in the youth group, and you have to be careful with that because a youth pastor rage quitting is not a good thing to have happen. So I'd always let them beat me with like their Madden 19 or
Oh
whatever, and
yeah,
then I'd be
oh
like,
yeah.
"Yeah, let's go back to Tecmo Super Bowl on the Super Nintendo, and I'll just walk all over you, and then we'll see who is the best."
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
So, but you have to watch
yeah.
out for that, because we're all, even though we are Christian gamers, even though we come from that aspect, we all fall short, and
Yes, we
it's
do.
not about trying to be perfect. It's about molding ourselves every day into a more Christ-like person, and
Correct.
so it's a growing, constant effort, and hopefully we're here to walk along with you in that.
It's a lot like golf. Uh, who was it that said? I believe it was Lee Trevino who said, "You will never master. No one will ever master golf. You'll just become better at it. You'll never master being a Christian, but you can always get better at it." So,
Absolutely.
so perfection is unattainable, but it's what we strive to become. Um, so tonight we're going to start with basically what is the definition of bullying. So I had this up here on a little a transition. We got where let's go with the bully, a noun.
Wherever it is, it's up here somewhere.
It covers the whole screen. We're not even on
Oh,
the screen. So
oh,
a bully, noun, plural bullies, of course. A blustering, quarrelsome, overbearing person who habitually badgers and intimidates smaller or weaker people. The verb is to act the bully, toward, intimidate, domineer, or dominate. Um, there was what was it called, synonyms for that.
yep.
Terrorize, it was one of them. Was a bully. Um, I wouldn't necessarily put them in the same category as terrorists in today's definition of terrorists, but bullies terrorize a person. Um, um, so, what we want to talk about today are the people who are getting bullied. Um, Ways that you can reach out. Or like reaching out to your pastor or organizations or 800 numbers. There's many places that you can reach out. Teacher, pastor, um, your science teacher, right, Chris?
Yeah, come talk to me.
Now, my wife is a counselor, and that's what she specializes in, is in trauma and for all the recent suicides, suicide attempts that's been going on. The what was it, 13 ways or something like that? That's kind of been glorified, and
13 Reasons.
13 Reasons. 13 Reasons Why.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of glorifies that, where a girl was being bullied, and she videotaped, or she recorded herself of the 13 reasons why she decided to end her own life. So and a lot of it was bullying. She was bullied. So this is a real thing. It does happen.
Absolutely.
It is horrible. It is I'm sure Chris and I myself, I have been on that end. I have been bullied.
Yep. Yep.
I've always been kind of the larger kid, but I have been intimidated. I've been talked down to. I've been considered a weaker person. I'm only 5'8", so I guess I'm a smaller person to some people. But the key word is habitually, meaning always doing it. Doing it once or twice, that's not bullying. That's putting you down, and no one should do that either. But this is habitually. They do it daily. They do, every time they see you, they are compelled to intimidate you, badger you.
And there's an underlying reason behind it. Either they know that they're getting you all riled up, and they know that they can get a reaction from you, or it's just the pure fact that they are insecure themselves.
True.
And they feel like if they can manipulate or make fun of or put someone else down, that will somehow raise their self-worth. Right. And in the end, that's not what happens. They are not a better person because they put somebody down. It actually pulls everybody down. And one of the reason we felt led to discuss this topic, and then we actually found out that October, which starts today, is the National Bully Awareness Month. Yeah. It's not the National Bully Month because we don't want people bullying people, but it's National Bully Awareness Month. And so that's one of the reasons why we felt led to talk about it first off, but it just kind of coincided with this. And so we have the definition, and again, it is that habitual, repetitive, for either trying to build them up or just because they know that they can get a reaction out of you. And so we want to try to spend the rest of our time just talking to you personally. If you've ever been in that situation, if you're currently going through that situation, if that's something that you are living with on a daily basis, and you feel like you are the only one, please understand that you're not.
Nope.
I've went through the same loneliness and feeling like I was all by myself, going through a similar instance, as I'm sure Corey has been there too. And it's not just, on the playground or in between classes anymore. I mean, bullying can follow you home. There's this whole new thing called, it's not new, but this whole thing called cyberbullying that can happen on social media outlets, on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, even in your online or your game chat and everything. And so please understand.
It's everywhere that you congregate. Congregate meaning a group of people come together. Social media being the main one nowadays. So For all of us gamers, it is simple, just public chat. It I have never personally came across anybody bullying me with in Call of Duty or doing some randoms. Um, but I have witnessed people. I wouldn't say being bullied because it wasn't habitual. It was just someone uh, with cyberbullying. It's almost like a step further, because if they're constantly doing it, I think that kind of goes into stalking as well. You know, it's one of those. They don't have a direct physical access to you. Like, you're not going to the same school, you're not going, you don't go to the same church, you're playing the same game, and they're constantly looking for you, sending you DMs, to your Xbox tag or whatever, or your Sony, if you're a Sony or PlayStation guy or whatever, or a PC guy. I've never seen that or witnessed that, but I know what happens. And what happens is these bullies have a sense of power over this person, and we're just here to say that don't engage with them. That's why they keep coming back, because you engage with them. They let them, and next week we'll talk about from the bully side, because I've been in that role as well, unfortunately. And so I can speak on both ways of how I felt being bullied today and how I felt bullying whenever I was younger. And it wasn't doing it out of malice. It was out of empower. I felt empowered that I was able to control someone else without, but I was not thinking about the repercussions of the other person. So you kind of had to think of that. This person might not be malicious at heart, but the things that he or she does to you is malicious to you. It hurts you. And I wish, looking back, I regret it. And if any of my friends ever see this on YouTube or whatever, and I did that to you, I swear to everything holy that I apologize for it, and I hope you all forgive me for that. So, but yes, today is this month is National Bullying Prevention Month. So, I believe what they call a Unity Day is October 23rd, where everybody wears orange. Orange is the color, which is black and orange are one of my favorite colors, as you can see with my beautiful Harley Davidson hats, Harley Davidson colors. I love it.
We got some orange here in Tennessee too.
Oh yeah, we got the burnt orange here.
Yeah.
So maybe on the 23rd, everyone wear orange. Let people know that I think with the orange color, you just need to understand that us as Christians, we love you. We're here for you. If you feel like you're being bullied, come to us. There's no shame in it whatsoever. Going to someone actually empowers you. And just as a disclaimer, because I haven't said this yet, disclaimer: we are not professional counselors. I do not have a degree. My wife does. I wish she was here with us, but she goes to bed early. But she's kind of steered me in the right direction. But just take our advice. It's just advice. It's our opinion.
It's worth the price you paid to hear it.
Exactly. So, but yeah, just we're not professionals, so we can.
But we can talk from experience on both sides, and so I can think of several times while playing World of Warcraft, and you are new to the game, and you have level 15 paladin, and you are ready to go and tank the depths of whatever
What is it?
random
Mines? Deep Run. Oh, what's it called?
whatever the random thing gives you, you are ready to
Oh,
just go and tank. And I speak from experience because this was me, and I had my level
mm-hmm.
15 paladin, and I was ready to just take on the world. And then you go along, and you have that one person in your party that is specifically pulling aggro away from you. And for those of you that might not, there, you as the tank are trying to draw all of the um, attention and uh, all of the damage to you, and somebody will pull a mod or pull a boss or pull something away, and so then it comes after them, starts to attacking them, and then they're like, "Oh, you're the
And they are
worst."
much more squishy than the tank.
Yes,
The tank is
and
that's what he's built for, to take damage and get healed by the healer. That's what it is. It's called the Holy Trinity. Tank, healer, damage dealer, or
yep,
DPSer. So
and so they pull the boss or uh, the swarm, whatever, and they pull it on themselves just so they can say, "Oh,
you're
you're
a
an awful
horrible tank.
tank.
Yeah.
You need to go back and learn all the blah, 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 and why are you even trying? And you need to go upgrade." And so it really affects you because you're just trying to do the best that you can,
Right.
and you were so overwhelmed and grateful to have that level 15 paladin, and then it just didn't work out. So you cry a little bit, and then you go back and you make a warlock or a mage, and you just DPS
Yep.
because what's the point?
Right.
And so, obviously, you can tell that I speak from experience. But please don't let what others might do or what others might say give you a sense of your self-worth, because
Yep.
they have
That's
no
true.
idea who you are. They've never met you. They've just seen your character online. You can't let them give you your self-worth. You can't derive your self-worth from what someone comments on your YouTube channel
That's right.
or what someone says to you while you're playing Call of Duty or WoW, because ultimately it's not what they think of you that truly matters. And so, from a Christian perspective, we would say that we don't get our self worth, we don't get um, a sense of who we are from anybody around us, even though everybody might pat us on the back and tell us we're great. Uh, we could be a good person, but ultimately our self-worth doesn't come from what people say, and it could be the negative. They could call us trash, or they could call us rejects, or whatever. That's not what we base our self-worth off of. We base our self-worth off of who God sees us as,
Mm-hmm.
and He sees us as His own image. We were made in His image, and we are His image bearers.
So you have a scripture, don't you, on that?
I was gonna put up Ephesians 2:10. Yeah, Ephesians 2:10 says, "For we are God's handiwork." So there was an old preacher that used to say that God don't make no junk, and that's absolutely true. God don't make no junk. And Psalms 139:13 says that you were knitted together in your mother's womb. He was there in that moment and put you together in the exact way that He did.
Right.
And you were made with a purpose. You were made with a plan, uh, and that's where you get your self worth. You are His handiwork.
That's right.
He claims you as His, and even went so far as, if we read in Scripture, He sent His only begotten Son so that He could have you back. We were separated by our sins. We were separated from God because he can't harbor sin. He can't keep sin around. He has to judge sin. And we had sin in our lives, and he gave his only begotten son so that we could be redeemed back to him.
That's right.
And I know that Corey and I both love C.S. Lewis, and if you've not read the Narnia series or watched the movies, you need to. He also did a space trilogy. If you're into the sci-fi space trilogy, it's out there as well. But he has a quote. C.S. Lewis says that Jesus did not die for all men, and so in today's terms, we'd say all people.
All people.
But he died for every person. And so even if you were the only one, even if it was just me, even if it was just you, he still gave up his life for you. So that's where we ultimately derive our self-worth, not from what somebody says, because we are a level 15 paladin playing WoW, but because our creator God, he made us, he created us, he knitted us together in our mother's womb, and we are his handiwork, and we are his made in his image. So please don't get down. Please don't get discouraged. If you are having thoughts of depressed thoughts or thoughts of suicide, please reach out to someone. Please reach out to a counselor at school, a teacher at school, principal. There are people in your church. Ultimately, if there is bullying going on, we need to do everything to be able to stop it. And so if that means that you go to a teacher and inform them that it's going on during school, that's what you have to do. But it's for your safety and for your well-being. And so please just reach out to somebody. Don't live your life with that depression or with those thoughts, because there's no reason that we should let other people bring us down.
Don't let them do it.
Don't let them do it. Did you have a?
I do have a scripture here that I would like to read. It's Psalm 37:15 through 14 through 17. It's from the Message version of the Bible. It says, "Bullies brandish their swords, pull back on their bows with a flourish. They're out to beat up on the harmless or mug that nice man out walking his dog. Banana peel lands them flat on their faces," meaning they're going to get what's theirs. Slapstick figures in a moral circus. Less is more and more is less. One righteous will outclass 50 wicked, meaning one of you, the bullied, will outlast 50 of the bulliers. For the wicked are moral weaklings. Remember that. Remember that. They are the weaklings, not you. But the righteous are God strong. And one of these days, I will. Me and Chris will have a discussion about what that means to be strong and weak. There is a difference. It's not a physical thing that they're talking about. It is something else entirely that people, when you start talking about weak and strong, they're thinking something more physical. It's much, much more than that. I wouldn't even say it is that. No physical at all. So, but what this is saying is that this specific just diving into what this scripture is saying, the bullies brandish their swords, pull back on their bows with a flourish. They're out to beat up on the harmless or mug that nice man out walking his dog. Basically, that's exactly what the definition was of what they were talking about. Brandish their swords back in the day. I guess you could have a sword today, but anyway, back in Jesus' time, that was the weapon, was swords. And brandish means they bring it out like a threat. They pull back on their bows with a flourish. What that means is they pull back, they notch an arrow in their bow, and they pull it back real fast with a flourish. Like they're going to attack you, and they don't. They're out. They're out to beat up on the harmless. Or that goes with the thinking that you're the weakling. Um, the I would have to say at that point, as far as advice goes, and once again, I'm not a professional, but this is just my opinion as far as advice goes. Um, Coming from someone who has been bullied, um, standing up for yourself, that can mean many different ways instead of putting up your fists. Um, Standing up for yourself is you can don't crouch up, don't back away. You keep your head up high, you look them in the eye, and you leave. Looking in the eye is probably one of the best things you can do as far as gaining power back. It's one of those very subtle things, but it's what we call alphas do. If you should do
I wouldn't know.
You should do research on alphas. Like what do alphas what do they normally do? And that's one of the things that they do is they keep eye contact with you. So this also this will help you gain your power back, in my opinion. You will find out quickly that almost like, I don't know if any of y'all know Caesar Milan, the dog whisperer. He speaks about you being the alpha over your pet. And that was one of the things he talks about is you keep eye contact and you let your pet look away first. Your dog. He's a dog whisperer. So you let your dog look away first. You don't. You look him in the eye, look him or her in the eye, and you wait for the dog to look away. I'm not saying you need to do that with everybody, just keep staring. But when you're talking to somebody, you look, when they're talking to you, you look them right in the eye. When you're talking to them, you look them right in the eye. You shake their hand, you keep your eye on with them. So, I personally learned that myself because normally I'm not, I look down at their hand and yeah, I'm fine. I kind of had to train myself to keep my head up, my eyes focused on their eyes. And then you gain, it's almost supernatural, really. You feel that power kind of coming back to you. And, I don't want to say that everyone's going to react in a great way when you do that, because some people find that provoking. If you look them in the eye while they're talking, I have seen some people go, why are you staring? So just keep in mind that you are the bigger person to walk away, not letting them affect you.
Yep.
Because they're looking for that emotion. They're looking for that emotional, the crying, the tearing, the even if they're pushing you or shoving you, turn the other cheek doesn't mean what people think it means. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've touched on this before. Yep. So, turn the other cheek is not, if someone slaps you, you turn the other cheek. That's not what that means. It means don't let your emotions get the best of you. Okay. So keep yourself calm, keep yourself clear, keep that eye contact. And if you're done with it, say, I'm done with this. And then walk away. You take his or her power away from them when you do not give a response. Yep. That's how it is.
And I would be willing to bet 9 times out of 10 that person who is bullying you is probably being bullied by somebody else.
Exactly. I think
this is their outlet.
Yep.
And so they are not. You have to understand that there are moments when they feel the exact same way as you feel at that moment, and they understand, but at the same time, that doesn't give them the right to do that.
Nope, it does
so
not.
You have every right to stand up for yourself. And whatever that means, if that means telling them to stop or just looking at them dead in the eye and walking away and not letting it bother you, you will be a bigger person.
Mm-hmm. You just got the power back. You just took their power away from them.
Yeah. What else can they do? Like, there's only a few other options, and if they act those options out, then it's going to be it's not going to be a good day for them. Their options are either to let you go and wait till the next time, which could end the same way, or to lash out and act out towards you. And then once that happens, that goes from being bullied to being assaulted.
Yeah.
There's a physical aspect to it.
That's right.
And that is something when a teacher, a principal, someone steps in and fixes the situation, at least for the moment.
Yeah. Bullying is a form of harassment. That's exactly what it is. It's harassment. And when they get physical, that's an assault. That's a crime. So I pray no one, I mean, this is human nature though, but I pray that no one gets the physical violence of bullying. It's horrible. And, but you do not let that, you don't ever let that go. You go directly to a person of authority and let them know about it.
Mm-hmm.
So they can handle it properly, and that way the bully can pay the price for it. So
and that way the person can watch for what's
mm-hmm.
going on.
Right.
As a teacher, there's stuff going on at the playground, there's stuff going on in the hallways, and I can't be at every corner listening into every conversation.
That's right.
And I can't, the place that they're going to bully someone is the place where I'm not at. And so by you going and telling someone this is going on, that allows them to be more watchful for those situations, and to be on your side and to make sure. And it might even be that if there's something going on at a certain place, they move whatever, they rearrange the seats, they rearrange the schedule, they do something to try to, and that's something that I've done. If there's two people that can't get along, you separate them. You make sure that they're not in the same schedule or whatever, so that it takes that factor out of it.
Right.
And so by speaking out and letting people know, you can only help yourself. That's, I mean, reaching out and letting someone else know, it should be your first step when something like that happens.
That's right. 100%. The which I was going to touch on what you said, the
bully being bullied.
The bully being bullied. More times than not, you're absolutely right. They're being bullied by someone else. Could be a cousin, could be, it could be a family member bullying them. And that one's kind of tough because they've been, if it's a family member, I would have to say that it's probably been going on for years, and the way that, Chris, you can probably, because my wife was a teacher, you're a teacher, there's what happens at home, people bring to school. The way they're treated at home, they treat others that way at school.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody's sunshine and rainbows at home, unfortunately. I wish there was, but that's not the way it is. So, I would.
But those are the
Whew,
ones that need to tune in next week when we talk about the ramifications of bullying,
right,
so that they can see the other side of it.
right,
Um, just because just because something has happened to you does not mean that you need to pass that along. Just like
that's right,
if someone is bullying you right now, that doesn't give you permission to go and find somebody else to act out
right.
your anger on.
I would say it's
Um,
more of a way to know what not to do,
yeah, and
how to not,
we
how to how to not handle yourself in a certain situation.
and we've been talking about being the bigger person.
Yeah,
That is one way to be the bigger person, is not taking it out on someone else, but making sure that it stops for you.
hmm,
Going to somebody, asking for help, letting people know, not just continuing on the same aggression or the same thing to somebody else is not the answer. It defeats the purpose. You know that feeling. Why would
hmm,
you want somebody else to feel it?
right,
So being the bigger person is saying something, making sure that it stops with you, and that person no longer has the power to bully you anymore.
exactly, 100%. The going back to what you said about two people not getting along. Um, there's a buzzword of inclusion that's being thrown around a lot lately, and I don't think really people understand what really that means. Is as Christians, we're the ultimate inclusion people. We accept everybody. We love everyone. That is Christ-like. That's what our mantra is. And knowing what, which is another segment I'd like to get into about what is love, what is Christian love. Because I feel like that word's kind of been thrown around too easily as well.
Mm,
So, um, but one thing I would like to know is, or not talked about, is also maybe we'll talk about inclusion as well in one thing. But humans don't get along in some cases.
mm-hmm.
That is human nature. Everyone has an inherent personality, and some of those, say some, mostly everybody can get along with everybody else, but there are personalities that clash. It is. You're a science teacher. You know that it's behavioral. It's in their brain.
Yeah.
They will not get along. There is no inclusion that is going to be as far as besties. You know what I'm saying? So you have to remember, your brain does not stop developing until 25. You're going to be changing your mind for 25 years. And sometimes even after that, trust me. So
Yep.
you feel like
Yep.
you're going
Yep.
to be
Yep.
growing up forever. Like, I'm 42 years old, so, and I've been playing games since games were, the first Pong. I mean,
Wow.
I played Pong. I had that first Atari. That was our first thing. I mean, Atari was before I was born. I think it was 70 something, maybe 77. Maybe it was the year I was born. So I was born in 77. So, but anyway, so I've been around through it all, through Nintendos, through Sony's, through PlayStation, Sega Genesis. I mean, all of it. And only kind of bullying I got was from my brother whenever we were playing together, and I kept beating him in something, So, but I mean, I couldn't tell you. Oh, when I was younger, going back to gaming. Going back to gaming and going like what Chris said, level 15 paladin, it was, well, I would say World of Warcraft was the worst place. Now thinking back, that I was a tank. I enjoyed tanking. I like being the guy up front getting smashed. I'm not really a DPS guy. My cousin is. He loves DPS. He'll DPS all day long, and he'll crunch the numbers, and he'll redo his spec and everything else to get one more point in that DPS. And he's good. He is really good. And um, but now he has 2 kids, and his time is limited. But anyway,
yes, welcome to fatherhood.
fatherhood, yeah. And but it's tanking is, I would have to say tanking is probably one of the worst besides healing, because that role in itself is like, if you don't keep the aggro, like it'll kill your whole party, like you. I like that responsibility. It's kind of a catch-22, a double-edged sword. I love that responsibility. At the same time, I'm like, and every now and again, you'll get someone who will troll you. And I'm not going to say it's bullying, because he's not, I don't know this guy. He's not constantly telling this to me. But it started giving me a little complex. Like, am I really that bad? But then I'll get right back into it. And that's what you need to do. Get right back into it. Get that practice, because practice is what makes you better. Especially with World of Warcraft, they want you to watch the videos. If you're a tank, you need to know where to go, the fastest route, at the right pace, and that's what you need to concentrate on. You need to find out, okay, dead mines. That's what it is, dead mines, for Alliance anyway. Dead mines is the first one that you go to on the Alliance, right? Which I think is because Horde gets one before they get one like at level 14 or something like that. It's the one underneath Orgrimmar. And so, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. But anyway, but he's exactly right. Chris is exactly right. I was a tank, and I was getting trolled all the time, and I was just like, I started feeling so bad. Like, I don't even want to tank anymore if these people are going to be like this, right? But then I'm like, wait a minute. They never pulled aggro off of me. I got them done within a reasonable amount of time. I did nothing wrong. And that's what you need to remember. You're not doing anything wrong. It's the other person. It's the other person that has something wrong with them. Some kind of beef. And that's what I'm talking about with the inclusion thing. There could be a personality difference, and that maybe in 10 years, y'all will be best friends. Who knows? But the bully sees something that he or she can hold over you and put a boot down onto you and keep you there and have that power over you. Don't let them have that boot. Don't let them have that kind of power over you. Blow it off. Don't let them see the emotion come through with you, because getting that reaction from them is what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Speaking personally.
So, bullying in gaming. Okay, I got one for you.
Okay.
Diablo 2, when you do multiplayer, some random person would come to help you, and then they would just go out into some random place and kill you and take all your stuff. Did you ever have that happen to you?
No.
No, you weren't that dumb.
I think at the time Diablo was out, I was playing Counter-Strike a lot. And that's even, I can't even remember. I think I had to take my headphones. I wasn't listening to people. I think that's what I did, because I was like, hold on, how did I get through all that? Because, Call of Duty, you randomly match up with people. Destiny, you randomly match up with people. I think I just took my headset off.
That's a good way to do it. If any of you know what I'm talking about, like, you would ask for help, and they'd be like, yeah, come over here. And then next thing you know, your barbarian is dead, and they have all your stuff.
I
That's
didn't know that was a
bullying.
thing. Like you got
Yeah,
ganked by people.
yeah. Like they would just have random people out there in the party, and that it was just a multiplayer, and you joined, and then they could take your stuff because they were in your group,
So they
and
would
so
let you die and then
they would
take your
kill you,
stuff.
and
How
then
did
you'd
they kill you? It's not a PvP, is it?
hmm Yeah, they can hurt you
What?
just. Yeah, I'm telling you.
I was not aware of this. I thought
I
Diablo 2 was a partner game, a co-op.
and all I know is I had my barbarian, or I think it was a barbarian, or maybe no, it was an Amazon. I had my Amazon, and I was doing good, and then I got matched up with somebody, and they ganked me, and then the internet went down, and the next day the guy came over to fix the internet, and he's like, "Oh, what do y'all play?" And so I told him, I've been playing Diablo, and he's like, "Uh, uh, I always like to get the people out and uh, gank them and then take their stuff." I was like, "Yeah, that just happened to me yesterday." But anyways, long story short,
What kind of personality finds that enjoyable?
apparently charter internet people. I'm not. I'm just kidding. Charter internet people that I don't want to judge everybody. And if I can go
Hey,
back
we're
and
not
just say,
sponsored by Charter, anyways.
if I can go back and just say one thing about inclusion and what you said about it before, Christians are
That's right.
to love everyone, and we're because we were loved even whenever we didn't know all the things about Christ and the truth, and we are to love everyone. But what is being mixed up, and what is being there's a disconnect,
Yeah,
because I can love you, but I can dislike the decisions that you're making,
100%. Yeah. My
just
wife loves me,
because.
but she dislikes half the decisions that I
Yeah,
make.
like the gordita box from Taco Bell.
That's a bad decision.
Bad
But your wife
decision,
still loves you.
but your wife still loves you anyways. You might have to sleep on the couch, but your wife still loves you. Okay, so there's a disconnect, because people
Yeah,
say, if you don't agree with what I say, if then you hate me. That's not the
that
case.
is not
I
true.
can
That's not
I
true at
can
all.
love you. I can outright love you, but I can see a decision that's not going to be beneficial for you,
Yeah.
maybe out of personal experience, or maybe just because I can see a perspective that maybe you
Mm-hmm.
don't see. I can see it, and I can dislike that decision that you've made,
That's right.
but I can still love you. And
Yep.
so,
And to go back to love, we need to have a session on what love is, what LOVE means. So that word is thrown around way too easily. There is a big meaning behind that word. So we'll have a session uh, on what is the meaning of Christian love. So that's a big one. That's what it's all based on, is what Christian love is.
yep,
So,
absolutely.
um,
So, um,
but yeah, we're almost at to our we're almost at our 1 hour mark here. So um, we'll sign off here on the thank you for watching page. Where I'll have 2 links up for Cyber Smile, which is a place to reach out if you are being bullied, and also pacer.org/bullying is a good resource as well for bullying, or if you're being bullied. But just remember, Chris, you'll have a closing, I'm sure. But just remember that there are people out here like myself, like Chris, many other in the Christian community that love you, regardless of if you're a bully or being bullied. We still love you. Come out, reach out to us, and just get the support that you need to help fight what you need to fight. And and you must never ever ever forget, especially if you're a Christian and you're being bullied, you have the creator of the entire universe behind you.
mhm.
Trust me, you're gonna be fine. you are going to be A-okay. So, but yeah, don't forget that. We love you. And Chris, if you've got a closing statement for tonight.
I just want to make sure that everybody knows that this is something that we felt like needed to be said. And this is something that we have both dealt with before,
Especially in
in
gaming.
our
Yeah.
in our own way, in our own time. And yeah, we had some lighthearted talk about it, but this is a serious subject.
Yeah.
This is something that goes beyond and surpasses what it used to be. I mean, it can follow you home now. It can
Yep.
be comments on your YouTube channel that just keep going and going and go. It can
Good
be
point,
more than what maybe we used to have to deal with. And so, please don't hesitate. Take the first step. Reach out. This is not trying to get any sponsors by charter. This
Nope.
is not. This is pro bono. We're just wanting to try to be a light on Twitter, on YouTube. We're trying to be a voice of reason to those that might be feeling down and depressed or feeling and having suicidal thoughts. We just want you to reach out to somebody. Take the first step and reach out to somebody. And if it
Amen.
is you that are bullying, please tune in next week so we can talk to you. We can pour into you the idea that, yes, there are ramifications, there are things that are going to happen because of this action that you have done
right.
or that you've continued to do. So,
Amen.
until next time.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And we will see you next Tuesday at 8:30, 9 o'clock. So,
Same bat time, same bat channel.
good night, everybody.
Good night.